Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another Last Epoch dev stream. As usual, I'm your host, Mike. Hello, everybody! About 5 minutes ago, I had an audio malfunction, so we're back to the headphones. Let me know if the balance is okay and everything. We're going back to, we had a little contest a little while ago, and I really enjoyed the build that I got from it. And I've been playing a very underpowered character lately, so I figured I'd place it with a little more juice to it, maybe. Oh, how's everybody doing? If this is your first time here, welcome. Glad to have you with us. As always, we stream for charity, right above my head. If you have a question for me, I'd love to answer it. Please put at Last Epoch Game in the question so I can see what it is. Let's just see how this does. I think this might be easy, but maybe it's terribly hard. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna play some Last Epoch. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna hang out. That's about it, really. Hello, Aaron. You guys ready for launch? Oh, I hope so. Doing our best. It's gonna be very exciting. You know, there's nerves all around. I don't think this is a world where I wouldn't be nervous, no matter how good things are. Yeah. We've been batting down the hatches, getting the last few little things in. Will sets ever be worth anything or get LP? Just use them for like 500 gold tokens. Yeah, so sets have some clear shortcomings. I think that's a uncontroversial thing to say. The sort of go-to, like, oh, why wouldn't you just do this option that we get seen a lot is is slap LP on those bad boys. Good to go. And I think that it's kind of it's something we could do. Yes, it's possible. It would, you know, there'd be problems with it for sure, namely in the length of set items. Tooltips at some point would be completely unwieldy. But you know, we've got some plans for set items to sort of be better long term. I think those are gonna be. I think it's gonna be a lot more fun. I mean, those are nice gloves, just not for me. All right. Will cycles continue to be on a Wednesday for a while? I have no idea. I would not take what's happening on launch date and timing to mean anything for the second cycle or beyond that at all. We'll look at how this went, and we'll, you know, analyze the good and bad things about picking that time, and we'll reevaluate and decide if we want to do it again next time like that. You know, it's one of those things where we might look at it and go, that was fantastic, yeah, let's do that again. We might look at it and go, well, these were problems and we can fix it by doing this. You know, like, it's just, we're gonna have to evaluate what's going on. Also, I feel like everyone noticed this, but you know, we're releasing on the 11th hour. I mean, it's the tower somewhere, but you know, you get what I mean. Our local studio time is central. What do you see as the median and or average amount of time players will spend in each league? Are you balancing for some expectation here? I mean, I think we're sort of trying to hit. Time is probably a bad way to look at it for us right now. I think it's more in the activity investment category. So like we try and have like goals that people who are like really gonna go hard and are like gonna do everything they possibly can. You know, we have things that we expect them to try and achieve, and then we have maybe people who are playing 3 ARPGs and bouncing between them, you know, and are going to spend less time playing Last Epoch, which is totally fine. And maybe goals that are more realistic for them to be achieving, just because they don't have the time to do it, or people who are, you know, playing more per day than others and things like that. So like there's, I guess, more like tiers of activities that we expect people to do. Like some people will, you know, grind up to level 100. Some people will grind their factions all the way to rank 10. Some people will do both factions all the way to rank 10. It's sort of like these milestones that we're sort of expecting out of some people and not out of others. And it's less about how long people are actually playing. And I bet there's someone who's much more in tune with like server statistics and costs and all that sort of stuff, and probably has a more firm number on that. But from a design standpoint, that's the way we look at it, really. Are you guys worried that the Elden Ring DLC might launch around the same time as 1.0? I mean, we tried really hard to avoid any big game overlaps that we think would have a significant like player base sharing. And I think we've done pretty well. Like we're not gonna hit too much here. I would prefer them to avoid our launch by a few weeks. That would be real nice. Do I expect them to even know who we are? No. Yeah, it's we'll see what happens. I think it'll be fine either way. I think the people who are like really invested in Last Epoch and playing on launch day and all that sort of stuff are going to, sort of regardless of if Elden Ring drops that content, for the most part. So, not want to die. We've been playtesting the new launch builds too much, and there's so many little things that I'm like trying to do. Like I was setting up the audio, I'm like, all right, just switch the audio. Oh, I can't do that. You know, just lots of little things that I've gotten used to working. Good news. Is it possible to get a better contrast for the framing of the items? Sometimes it feels hard to distinguish the uniques at one glance in their inventory or stash. Brightness does not help with that. Maybe if you've got screenshots and a suggestion like that, the best place to put it is on the forums or on Discord, and we can look at it and evaluate all that sort of stuff. There's always like any question. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. I don't know if something like that is going to happen at all. I assume you mean like the distinction of this to this here in your inventory, like the frames here in the stash, not the actual tooltip, because the tooltip's getting a big overhaul, and I think that the inventory stuff's changing a little bit too. It looks different. There's just too many changes. I reported a bug. Awesome. We'll be working on it. I'll finish the question in a sec here. That is visually bugging the texts in the game because of different Windows language. Please fix. Okay, yeah. We're any bugs you report, we'll work on. Are we going to see more cosmetics at launch? Yes. Yeah, there's more cosmetics. How long until the potters have some insane tech? I mean, hopefully a long time, and if they do, it's like really easy to detect, and that'd be sweet. I don't know. Alright, will there be a bigger monster density at release, or will it stay like this? Yeah, there'll be a... We've been making this sort of like steady incremental progress on increasing the monster density bit by bit. That will continue at 1.0. It's not going to be a, like, oh my god, take a look at the screenshot differences. There's 4 guys here and 40 guys here, or something like that. But like, it'll be a little more. Sometimes that's also reducing the size of some of the zones as well. So there's a few monolith echoes in particular that are problematic for size, and I don't like. I think this is still the way it is on live. I don't think this was last patch. That's the problem. I get confused on which patch things are for. But there's we've been splitting up some of the monolith echoes. Specifically just because they're too big, which, you know, leave the same amount of enemies in a smaller zone. Higher density. Keeping that mixed up. Are all the cycles going to be the same as Legacy, or are you going to start doing new content on cycle only after you finish with the core editions? So a lot of the status of future cycles is very up in the air. We do have a plan for what that's going to look like. We know what's coming. Like we've got a pretty solid plan for 1.1. You know, like we do have a general idea what it's gonna look like going forward, but a lot of it's gonna be based on like how the patch does, feedback we get from it, how we feel playing it. You know, there's a lot of things that are gonna influence how we adjust that strategy going forward. I think it's gonna be a lot of at least the first few patches. I think there's going to be mostly core features that are added, and so this is speculative based on, you know, what we've sort of been feeling is going to likely happen, but it could change still. You know, we launch it and everyone goes, we hated this, and we'll go, okay, well, how can we make it better? You know, once we do have more core things in the game, that we don't feel like adding a new feature to cycle would be super lacking for Legacy. We might start looking at adding in more like cycle only content. Maybe it starts slow. Maybe it's, this is speculation. I don't know what's gonna happen exactly, but maybe we're like, oh, here's some like new unique items, or you know, like new experimental affixes, or like something that's similar to experimental affixes but just like a new style or something. I don't know. And you know, that gets added to cycle first and then wrapped into Legacy afterwards or something like that. But you know, initially the main core features, at least in 1.0 and 1.1 that we're planning, are going to be cycle and Legacy right out of the gate. That's what we're planning right now. Let's see what happens though. Yes, there we go. I think I might be a little overgeared for this. It's just corruption 111, I think. I'll try and get in a shade fight in quick to bump it up. Let's go straight to the edge. How fat is the stack of patch notes for 1.0? It's huge, like huge. I was looking at one of the most recent like CT build patch notes, and I'm like, this is gigantic. This is just the difference between the last CT build and this CT build. Insane. We started making the patch notes. I can tell you that. We're still in the process of like nailing down like there's all these commits in our Git repo are just like, okay, who did this one? Can you remember exactly what this change was from your cryptic message of fixed this node in that thing? Like what was wrong with it? That's gonna be good. And you'll see him very shortly before the patch, but not significantly before the patch. Do you guys have a planned date as to when you'll be showing the shaman changes? I don't know. I would assume in the week before the patch, like when we usually show off a lot of things like that. Prism Wrap's always good. Prism Wraps are one of those items that got shafted like the most on legendary potential chance compared to what it normally has. Hello, Rogue Poison. What do we got? Next question. Any chance to get further insight into locking masteries? Sure. How do you think it will be received at launch? Best of luck at release. I think it'll be received very much the same as it's been received for a long time. I think there will be some people who are very upset about it, and some people who don't care at all about it, and other people who are very happy about it. Like it's gonna be a mixed bag, I think. Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be any major differences from what we have now. This question here: will you be doing a lot of borrowed power in each cycle? Do you mean like things that the cycle gets that is like a lot of power that is gonna go away at the end of the cycle and not come back? DWXC, just expand on that question for me, please. Yeah, and if you do have a question for me, please put at Last Epoch Game in chat so I answer it. Otherwise, I'm going to assume it's for just other people. Are you guys possibly going to take ideas for cycle ideas or themes for future content? Like player suggestions and things like that? Yeah, of course. I'm sure this has been asked before, but are there any future plans to have shards not go into our inventory? Not specifically yet, no. It's still a pretty hot topic for us. I would say there's room for movement, and it's just not quite happened yet. The big goal for it was to have them be items, and it's not. People don't feel that way about them, so we kind of need to either pull back on the convenience or amp up the convenience. I'm sure you're all aware about how well things go when you take something away. When will patch notes come up prior to launch? Probably just before. Software dev, I know the git commit pain, big offender of fix. I always put, you gotta have a little bit of description in there, but sometimes it is a little just Just look at the one line of the commit diff, please. All right, is the infamous reset all button coming in massive? No, passive trees doesn't get us reset all button yet. Didn't make it, sorry. So apparently there's no extra endgame ship with 1.0. Roughly, what can we expect that to change? Yeah, so the way you interact with the endgame is changing. The rewards for endgame is changing. The difficulty scaling for endgame is changing. So there's, I would say, endgame is getting a lot of refinements, but there's no new activities. So I don't like the nothing's changing. But depending on how you look at it, it's true. As for new endgame like activities and content, that sort of style, I would say that's going to be a very high priority for us for most of the patches. That we've already planned, which are the first few. Oh my goodness, what is going on? My finger was pressing 2 instead of 1 for potion. I don't know why. I'm a dum-dum. That's okay. Go this way. Little arena action. I'm a big fan of this particular arena. Just a little extra, little extra mechanics in the middle is fun. Oh, ice beetles. Save me. Rit. Hey Steve. Why are you such a handsome, amazing dude? Because my mama made me this way. Hi Mike, do you guys plan mid-cycle balance changes if something is outperforming or underperforming? Some of the older classes seem a bit underpowered. Yeah, so we do, this is, 2 weeks ago, I went into a very long explanation of this answer. The shorter version is, yes, we'll do some mid-season balancing and stuff like that. There's a lot of ways we can do that and have major problems happen. So we're going to be very careful in how we, how we execute on that. And there's the few big pitfalls. Nerfing a build that's doing really well too hard causes a lot of problems. Nerfing or buffing too many other builds to compensate can leave you in a position at the end of the cycle where you have to nerf too many things, and you end up with a bad pattern of nerfing in between cycles and buffing in the middle of cycles, and that doesn't work well either. So those are the pitfalls we're avoiding for the most part. But yes, we will be doing some rebalancing where needed. Like it's if there's a really important time that we need it, yeah, we'll do it. But mid-season balancing is a delicate touch. Respec all button when? Hopefully soon. Will you continually add new skills for all classes? I mean, yeah, so the mage is stacked. Mage is stacked. So it'll be a while before there's a new mage skill, I think. But you go open the same panel on rogue, even after the falconer, and it's yeesh. Where's all the skills? So yeah, we'll keep adding skills. The ones that have fewer skills will get more skills added faster. The ones who have a lot of skills will probably get less, you know? And that's not to say there won't be reworks and revamps and things like that happen for the existing skills, even for the bigger trees. Hello teleport. It's one bad. As an example. So yeah, there's definitely room for improvements there, and we will continue to. What I would say is nothing when a new skill comes out or a new skill gets reworked, it doesn't get taken off the list. It just goes to the bottom of the list. Oh, idols. Gonna make me try and read all these in the middle of the thing. Cold dot's not bad. Sweet, they're basically none of them are for me. Next question. Borrow power, yeah, give me his character power that's temporary for a cycle and then replace with something else the next cycle. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure that I was reading that right. I that's not something we're looking at doing right away. I would say that would be a low priority thing right now. I think there would need to be something wrong with the mechanic. Like we would need, if that were to happen, especially in early on, it would need to be because we were trying something really experimental and it did not go well. And we're like, okay, yeah, the experiment failed, pull that out, try again. You know, like it would have had gone really bad. More. I just want to shout out whoever's designing the UI for Last Epoch. Shout out. Here we go. I don't know if I'm allowed to say names of people on stream or not, but you know who you are and you're awesome. Yulia. Fantabulous. I am very curious about whether in the future models will be made exactly like the images in the inventory of the equipment, including the unique ones. Now only weapons have models exactly like in the image, if I'm not mistaken. There are a couple other things than just weapons, but for the most part, yes, you are correct. Yeah, we're gonna keep adding in new unique models into game. It's one of those things where it's like it's a slow process, but we're gonna keep doing it. It's a really important part of the fantasy to say, like, I equip sword, sword looks like sword in picture, you know, like that's a really important part of everything really coming together.
I am not a man of many pockets.
That voice line gets me every time. Are the terrain issues in Chapter 1 boss fights being fixed for 1.0? Is the new boss fight there already? Yeah. Yes, it's already there. Yes, it's, yeah. Will the Squirrel Beastmaster be nerfed in 1.0? Well, it's a bug right now I'm trying to fix with it, so maybe. I don't know if there's I don't have any information on upcoming potential balance changes. Do you guys plan cycle rewards with cosmetic rewards? Initially no, but that's the sort of thing we'll look at expanding into. You know, once we're a little more settled. Yeah, that style of thing I think is really good for driving engagement. You know, just a fun reward for being awesome. Hopefully it goes without saying, I'm going to say it anyways. It would not be power rewards, it'd be cosmetic only. Just to be safe. Gotta say it. You can kind of just assume that caveat goes with everything that's like cosmetic or purchasable, or you know, not just for everyone in the game. You may have very well created the best rogue class in any RPG. Aw, I have fallen completely level. Thank you. Rogue's also my favorite. Getting keys everywhere today. That big Mega Nova is just so cool. It's just it gets me. Right. What Nick Cage film was better, The Rock or Con Air? The Rock. 100% The Rock. It's one of I love the it's like you got Nick Cage, but it's also Sean Connery. Remember, like this is not just a Nick Cage movie, you know. I'm old enough that Sean Connery is still Bond. The Thunderball, that was a mistake. It's actually a remake. Right. Why was the decision to keep bug fixes like with Rogue Flurry multi-shot and detonating arrow to 1.0 not emergency patch? Sometimes something seems like it can be fixed in isolation, but really it's a larger like issue, and you can't, like, if you try and fix that one thing, you're actually working on a much larger issue, and the volume of things that it touched and other systems that it interacted with meant that we would have been releasing a very major patch, which would have required much more QA bandwidth and would have taken away from what we could actually push out at 1.0. We got to a point where 1.0 was the only thing that mattered, and unless it was like a really impactful bug that was stopping people from playing the game altogether, or was like super easy to fix, like super low risk to fix, you know, there's sort of those two things, like fighting against each other to decide if we're going to do it or not. And it was high risk, medium high reward, but we weren't prepared to try and tackle a high risk thing like that. It's basically, we looked at 1.0 is going to be better because we didn't do that. Which I know sounds ridiculous. Next question. Oh, will all masteries have 5 skills at 1.0? No. For example, Shaman only has 4, it will still only have 4 at launch, while Druid has 5. Yeah, so Paladin will only have 4, Shaman will only have 4, Lich will only have 4. What am I missing? Are Marksman and Blade Dancer sitting at 4 right now? I think they're both sitting at 4. They're not getting new skills in their mastery trees. Paladin will be 4. Paladin's 3.5 right now. It'll be 4. Said that. Almost all of the new skills are for Warlock and Falconer. There's only one new skill that's not. All right, next question. Any plans for a server slam session before 1.0? We've been doing a lot of tests internally. I don't know if there's a big like plan for a like community run server slam type thing. I don't think we'd be able to generate real numbers for a server test that would actually like accurately mimic what would happen in a launch situation. So I don't know if it's valuable or not to do that. It's the 2-3 rows of buffs showing by default. It's always been that way. It's just Rune Master gets a weird amount of buffs. Way too many in my opinion. I don't look at them at all. Alright. Some of the character faces look weird. Shiny or oily. In the character select. They look different 1.0 later patch. Yeah. All of the faces got a touch up. I might be wrong on that. I know some of them did. If you watch the trailer, like just the main launch trailer, there's like a quick back-to-back of like every character like landing and like you see their face. That's what the new characters look like. You can use that to compare the difference. They're in like a pose, so it's a little different, but yeah. Those are actual models from in-game. Do you guys plan to give agency over what endgame content people wants to do after a game has many cycle contents in it? Do you mean like? I feel like we already do this. Is why I'm hesitating. So this is why I'm kind of like, yeah, yes, but we already do. Once there's more options, it'll be, you know, like there'll be more options. There'll be more things to choose from. So yeah, I think. Will there be additional campaign chapters with 1.0 launch? No. What's your personal favorite thing you have added to the game? Me personally added? Here's the problem: is I don't think I've added anything on my own. It's really hard to like, oh yes, I added that. I think just skills and skill trees that I've worked on. That's my favorite part of design and development. those. Okay, next question. Oh, there's a big one. I was asking if there are going to be challenge systems and cosmetic rewards for it, like PoE does, where you complete a number of challenges and you get a cosmetic at 10, 20, 30, 40, get different cosmetic rewards, etc. because the challenges offer different players more stuff to chase in the season. Yeah, we don't have anything specific like that set up for 1.0. I think that style of thing is that is what I thought you meant. That style of thing is very appealing, and I'd be very surprised if we didn't do something like that. We don't have any specific things of like, here are the plans for challenges going forward or anything like that I can share. But like, it's a pretty natural type of thing to add, and I think it's done very well in PoE. You know, we'll approach it fresh and put our own twist and all that sort of stuff.
I am not a man of many pockets.
Come on, Tywin. Get some more pockets. Really want that all res. We want all res to happen, don't they? Let's go with the unique item. Any plans to allow fonts to be resized? I don't know what they used to be. UI customization is something that we'd really like to be able to have. We don't have any UI customization right now. I use that term broadly, but there's like we don't have any. I guess we do have some light settings like turn off damage numbers and stuff like that. But there's no plans right now to specifically add that specific feature. I think it's the sort of thing we'll probably look forward to if we get feedback that some people want, which is something that gets asked fairly regularly. Are you guys planning to introduce transmog systems for all models, not just MTX, in the future when you get a chance? We do have desire to do a transmog system. Exactly what that looks like and how that works, I don't have any info on that I can share right now. Any metrics on the most and least played classes so far? We do have that info. I have no idea what it is. I'd be pretty surprised if, you know, I'd be pretty surprised if it was anything weird. You know, like I bet Shaman's last. I bet Ringmaster's first. Yeah, there's not a lot of interesting information in there, I don't think. Also, will the very old boss models be updated in 1.0? No, it's not the most priority, but it gives game a bad look when someone tries to show off bossing to someone, that old Necro Commander. Oh, the A-bomb fight? I love the A-bomb fight. Is that what you're talking about? I don't think that there's any model updates to bosses in 1.0 for bosses. There might be some little ones, but for the most part, no. Lag in cities is bad now. Are there things that will be able to handle this at launch? There's improvements to servers coming. I don't know any specific details. I can't say like it's gonna be perfect or something like that. Personally, I don't experience that lag in cities right now. I can't say for certain it's going to be fixed for you. It is multiplayer functionality and ease of use and having it play nicely and the whole user experience for multiplayer is and has been our #1 priority leading up to launch, and that's something we're taking very seriously, and you're doing our best to make it as good as possible. I can't say for certain that it's going to meet certain benchmarks for each individual user. There's so many factors. Hello. I'm not sure if this is being asked before. Probably, but that's okay. But do you plan on keeping the model of not locking content behind a season wall, or will seasons and content be locked together with one another like geez thing? So let's do the quick version because it's something we talked about earlier in the stream. Initially it's all together. The future that can change. How fast that changes, exactly how that changes. A lot of that will be based on feedback we've gotten from our players and how we've observed the game playing and feeling, all that sort of stuff. So, all I can really say is 1.0 is simultaneously for Legacy and Cycle. After that, it's up in the air. Who knows what'll happen? Is there a timeline on when the base campaign would be completed, or is it just going to be gradually completed each cycle? It's going to be gradually completed. We do have a target deadline for it to be completed. So we're like, okay, we're like, okay, by patch 1.x, it's going to be, the last chapter implemented and the campaign's finished type thing. But it's not a guarantee until it happens. On a scale of 1 to 10, how tired are we of Children of the Apocalypse? I asked earlier on Discord, but got kind of drowned out. I did actually see it. I was very busy at the time. I'm a commander player, so not at all. She's not really very ubiquitous in commander tables. I also haven't played much Magic lately at all. I've been way too busy. I played Magic one time this year. Got 2 games in. Very, very good card. I used to play Shieldred as a commander, the original Shieldred as a commander. Terrible idea. Just like instantly dies no matter what. Some control player at the table is like, well, I've got my 1 creature, so you're not going to drop that counterspell. Like, great. Are you considering making genders or customizations of the characters? Character customization is a long-term goal for us. It is something that we do hope to include in the game. We do not have a timeline for it or any details on what that will include specifically. However, it will probably be a body type selection rather than a specific gender selection, is what I assume will happen. But let's see what happens when we get there. Yeah. That's right, I went to the Prometheus school of running away from stuff. Just go to the side, you're good. Are you going at some point to make the game compatible with Mac? Fun fact, we used to have Mac support. We don't have any plans to return Mac support to the game right now. It'll be part of the conversation we have when we look towards new platforms to expand into in the future, because we still haven't decided specifically every platform we're going to expand into. I think Mac support is very low on that list right now. I'd be surprised. Are you at some point? Oh, I answered that. Will you guys keep sharing the roadmaps of what's coming after 1.0? The previous one was great. Yeah. The reason why there's no like post 1.0 roadmap up right now is because we really want to keep the focus on 1.0. And if we're like, 1.0 is gonna be great, look at the stuff coming at 1.1. Yeah. It's sort of like it takes away from the 1.0 launch. So we're really like, let's just focus everything on 1.0 right now. Once that's settled and all sorts of stuff, we can start looking to the future. It doesn't need to necessarily be quite as a hard line there. Oh, I went the wrong way. Come on. Less damage taken from distant enemies, eh? Then I will pretend to be melee. Hi, hello. Any progression on UI scaling / increased text size of items? None so far. What do you think of the MTX idea of enemy death animations, for example, regardless of what skill kills a mob, they would burst into confetti with confetti death mod? I think it's a cool idea. I think that confetti is probably a little too far from the general theme that we've got going on to invest in. But the general idea, I think, is possible. It's not something we have planned at the moment. Since Pee-wee Gauntlet is running right now, are competitive-ish events, ladders, and speedruns something ESG cares about, or not so much? Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think we would have a ladder if we didn't care about that at all. Specific short-term events like what PoE has shown is, I think is really popular, and I think is really great. We'll have to see what that looks like for Last Epoch going forward, if that's possible, if people want it, all that sort of stuff. And as always, we do it with our own twists, our own spin, build it from the ground up for our systems and things like that. Because it's really easy to look at systems like that in other games, and sometimes they do translate great. But there's frequently little things that just don't work because of some weird system interaction. So we always try to look at the what are the goals that the system is achieving, and how can we best achieve those same goals if we're trying to find something to do those same things. Like if we're looking at a system, we're looking at what problem does it solve. We're looking at, do we have that problem? Can we solve that problem? How's best to solve that problem? And it's less about looking on how that feature works and more of what problem that feature's trying to solve. Because the solution might look completely different in our game. Or it might look almost exactly the same. You never know. Oh, come on. That was a close one. Oh, that's what happens when you click outside the window. Next question. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Keep that chat box scrolling. Did you get your degree in escapology? No, we failed. I had the right answer at the end, but I didn't solve one of the clues, and so that doesn't count.
I am not a man of many hobbies.
I assume you're referring to the escape room that I just went and did recently, that I talked about on stream, I think, briefly. UI scaling would help people with bad eyesight. Text is tiny. Yeah. You can change, like, maybe I'm wrong with this. Can you change the resolution or change, you know, like, does that affect, like, the screen resolution affects text size? Which I know is not a good solution right now, but if it's, like, preventing you from playing, might be a workaround. Don't forget to put out Last Epoch game in the question. I see one here, I'll read anyways. Oh, there it is. Where are we? Hey Mike, loving your streams. Thank you. I've a general question. How hard is it to add achievements to video games in Steam? I see a ton of random games having them, and then big AAA games don't even bother. I think it depends game to game. I've never added achievements to a Steam game, so I don't really know the answer to the question before we go too far into this. I think if you have a very complex game, you may look at it and go, okay, well, there's certain things we want to add for achievements, and you might not want to do the achievements until you can add all the things. I think it's possible as well that you might be, especially with bigger games being on multiple platforms. Hello, Novarix and your party. Welcome to the show. Stay a while and listen. Wrong game. What was I saying? Oh yeah, achievements in Steam. So yeah, like it's possible that if you're like on multiple platforms and you want to add achievements all around, maybe the other platforms can be holding it up. I don't know. I'm just speculating on reasons why you might not add it at this point. For us, the reason it's not in yet is just because we've got so many other things that are like strictly gameplay centric features that need to be fixed and need to be added. You know, achievements are great, but having the game look better, play better, and have more options is more important to us. So we're starting there first. Season content will be builds in-game for future, like in PoE. Yes, for the most. There's some exceptions, as I explained earlier. It could be the severed hand death MTX, where the mobs, severed heads get lopped off and bounce like a flat stone on water. Confetti was just random pull. Yeah. So on top of that, so if there's an effect that is especially model specific, like I know I'm just like looking at like the specific suggestion again. There's things that are, you know, would prevent stuff like that. Specifically, if it's going to interact with every single model in the game, suddenly that one MTX is going to cost us an insane amount of money to implement. Like, oh my god, insane. Because the head of every model, something has to be able to come off. You know, so it's and I know you're not like looking for specific examples here, but it's just like, because the reason I'm pointing this out is I'm trying to show that all of the cosmetics that are here affect your character only. So there's one object in the world that's really affected by this. There's I mean, skills affect the skills you shoot out, but it doesn't care about each individual enemy really. It's just you. When we start doing enemy specific things, suddenly those things need to be generic enough that they just work with every enemy. Excuse me. That was oh, hello. Or generic enough that they work with just every enemy, or if they're too specific, they can be too expensive to reasonably do. So it's possible, but I'd say not anytime soon. Are there any undiscovered builds left? I mean, I would assume so. They're undiscovered, so I don't know. Oh, I got something cool to share. Here's something neat. Here is some new art, some new item art for a belt. Hopefully, obviously, it's a belt. I'm not going to give the exact situation this belt shows up. All right. Is autocasting something the team still doesn't like and will eventually prevent or add in game support for? I don't think there's any point in us trying to stop people from functionally being able to do it. Like trying to detect an autocast script or trying to detect and unlock tricks and things like that. I think attempting to do that is foolish at best. So the fight on autocasting, the war on autocasting, or whatever you want to call it, is less about trying to like prevent people from doing it, and more trying to change the game such that people don't want to do it. And I think that there's it's okay if it exists, if there's certain situations where people are like, you know, I just like being able to autocast it, and maybe it's only like 95% perfect, but you know, it's fine. And they'd rather just play with it, autocast it, and it's not maybe like the most possible optimal way to do it. Cool, have fun. I know it's a little bit lighter stance than I've mentioned before. I think not much lighter, but a little bit lighter. It does beg the question of, okay, well, do you then implement it in game functionally? And we don't have any plans to do that right now. I think it could be possible, but you know, it's not something we're planning on. A lot of these things of like looking to the future, a lot of these little changes, little things like this is sort of like a, well, maybe, but about like 4 months ago, we're like, all right, all that matters is 1.0, everything else, ignore it. And it's like, you know, we haven't had design discussions on some of these topics that come up in quite a while because we're just got the head down focus on 1.0 right now. All right. A lot of companies struggle with communication in their communities. How do you help direct the communities in positive directions and prevent hostility between players and devs? Gosh, that's a question I should be able to answer really easily. I have no idea. I mean, I think we're just we do things like this right here. This stream, I think, is a perfect example of how we do that. You know, that conversation. It's a pretty open conversation. I think that there's a lot of the fact that we started this with a lot of modern tools, like just set up and ready to go. I think has helped a lot with things like that, with us being able to you know, like connect with our players through Discord really efficiently. I think it's had a huge impact on that for us. And I don't know if we've ever been in a situation where it's like a problem in order to need to like sit down and like lay out a strategy behind, like a formal strategy. I bet everyone in our like community management team is probably screaming at me, be going like, Mike, we do this all the time, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I don't know, guys, I'm just your stream, what am I supposed to do? So there's, I think yeah, I think there's a lot of room for even like improvements there from us for sure. And yeah, I think it's just a clear communication. Yeah, I think we have it also a lot, like if we're gonna compare ourselves to like Blizzard and PoE and GG and stuff like this, like we have such an easy time compared to them because our communities are so much smaller. We're not dealing with millions of players yet, hopefully. And you know, like there's so I think we have like just advantages there. We are able to keep up with community discussions a little bit easier because there's fewer of them. Trying not to die. Didn't even look what my void res was. Where's the C key? There it is down there. Oh, 48. That's not great. Oh, fire. Fire's good. Okay, purple stuff is dangerous. Red stuff's not great. I should be answering questions, shouldn't I? I'm still talking about that stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I hope I answered that well enough. Sorry. Alright. I didn't even look what the corruption change was going to be. Oh, big jump. Take that. 111 before? Oh my god. Oh my god. I've been playing with this thing on the screen like a moron. I set this up to really be able to just like slam it into the corner easily. Oh my god. Sorry. Oh, I have to do it I have to do it once a stream, right? This is my one that I get. I get this is the problem. I get like absorbed into the game and I'm just playing the game now. Okay, can you disclose the day we would get the full 1.0 patch notes officially from ESG? No, because I don't know what it is. In the few days before patch. Not much. Are there any plans in the future for some sockets gem rune words like D2? This is such a long question. We get it so much. Yes is the short answer. The complicated answer involves some cryptic thing about how our items are already that, essentially, and you know, I mean, like the legendary system is very similar to that, where you're getting pieces of you're getting individual, discrete, very rare pieces, and then you combine them together to make a much more powerful and much more rare piece altogether. There's an element of random rolling when that happens. You know, like that's a very vague definition of rune words in Diablo 2. Sockets, like you could take in gems, you take individual items, and you can socket them into an item. You know, like it's a very rough definition of our just item system. So there's a lot of overlap in the crafting stuff that we already have there, which is why we can't. This is what I was talking about earlier about taking systems and just like pulling them out of one game and plunking them in another. And it's like, what problem is it solving? What goal is it achieving? And how can we do that with our own spin? And the legendary system, D2 rune words were a huge piece of inspiration for the legendary system. Yeah. At the same time, like, that style of system is fantastic, and I can see us using something similar, or other elements of it in different ways in the future, possibly. Picked up the game 2 days ago. Awesome. I love it. Fantastic. Wonder if bow skills not hitting is a problem on my end, or if there will be a fix for it coming soon. Projectiles connect but don't have any effect. There's there's some. You're not alone there. It's something we've worked very hard to fix. So should be good. Need to use the tag. Who didn't tag me? You can ask it again if you want. Did the campaign boss get a buff for 1.0 to make them feel like a real fight? Only Lagan and Majas feel like real bosses in the campaign currently. Oh, campaign bosses. I didn't see the is. There's been some difficulty shifts in general. Nothing huge. There is a new opt-in difficulty system if you really want a challenge you can go for. Details on that will be at patch notes. Just to confirm, the starting cycle on the 21st of February will not have mechanics like PoE leagues, right? I would like to suggest that the item factions themselves, it's a pretty in-depth like league mechanic on its own. But for the purposes of your question, assuming that's not as soon as you're not counting that, yes, that's correct. There's no new like league cycle mechanic for endgame other than the item faction system coming for 1.0. Hey, is there any chance you will add red dots on the minimap that shows where mobs are? We've had that. It was so messy. I could see it being an option possibly, but I know there's no plans down right now. Ooh, look at those keys. Oh, the keys was to open the chest, not be in the chest. Key, a key that leads to a chest that leads to another chest. Ooh, that's a big health roll. How big is that? Oh, it's just a high range of 6. Still though. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm not sure what for, but you're welcome. Any chance of the curse customization in the future? We do not currently have the capabilities to have We do not currently have the capabilities to have cursor customization in the game. If that changes, we will add it to the game. But until then, no. Have you guys considered making glyphs auto pickup like cultists? Yes. Sorry, I laugh because it gets asked every week. Just be clear, the yes is we've considered it. Will there be a way to reset your cycle stash items? For example, in PoE you transfer everything to standard and delete all characters and reset your lead. We don't have a function for that right now. You know, if it's something that gets put in our feedback and suggestions channels a bunch, you know, we'll look at it. We always look at stuff that's in those channels. But right now, there's no nothing for that at the moment. Is gold drop rates changed with 1.0? I don't know. Almost sneezed. Close one. I think I just figured out why the audio wasn't working on my headset earlier. Two questions. Do you guys do automated tests? Everything you fix, skill trait, it's a huge game. So many interactions, so I'm just curious. We do have automated tests. We also have manual tests, so there's, like, depending on how big of a change something is, will determine what types of tests get run on it. So there's some automated tests that get run on every single commit that gets pushed, no matter what. They're pretty basic. It's sort of like is this going to make it so this game will no longer ever be possible to be built and played? If that fails, don't merge it. Then there's a code review that happens for anything. Any code change gets code reviewed by at least one person. Then for anything that's like an actual gameplay effect change, it also goes through a QA process, and like a design review process sometimes. So yeah, we do a combination of automatic and manual testing for everything, depending on what it is. Do you have technology to stop the game? Do you have the technology to stop the game while cutscene? Yes? I just killed myself in a cutscene with auto decay. Or orb decay, yeah. That sucks. They should make you invincible. Orb decay might be an exception because it is a weird one. But it should prevent you from dying. The red dots would be nice to have in arena maps, at least, so you can run towards the mobs and do them even faster. Lone Star McFluffin has rated us. Welcome everybody from Lone Star McFluffin stream. Glad to have you with us. We're we got about 40 minutes left in the stream. Hang out, relax. Are cycles going to be a set duration of time, or will each cycle vary in how long they last? I think that the time a cycle lasts will not be static from cycle to cycle. Initially, we won't announce specifically. Whoa! Initially, we won't specifically have like this is the date it's going to end on. That type of stuff could be added later. You know, if it's something that people are asking for from the community, basically. And McFluffin has resubscribed for 33 months in a row. That's a lot. We're getting real close to that 3-year mark. That is wild. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hope you're having fun still. I saw your you had a D4 LE video. I thought it was good. There was a fair critique of both games in comparison to one another. And we got more stuff too. We've got McFluffin's gifts and subs out to Keiser Zoes. I'm trying not to die here. Thank you very much. Congrats. Also, Talica for life. Nice. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. Or they appreciate it. All right, next question. I sometimes forget that I'm not just playing a game. Oh, don't die. Regarding Merchants Guilds, do you foresee doing mid-cycle patches to address lopsided economy, for example, gold duping, leading to outrageous prices, inflation? I mean, if something like if something like that gets discovered and everything, like, that would be terrible. But yeah, we'll be there to do what we got to do to, you know, bring things back in line. We've gotten there's one bug where you can visually dupe an item in your inventory. I can't pull it off. I've got like 4 different ways that people sent me to replicate it. I just like can't do it. I don't know why. But like we've got a couple ways where you can like make it look like you've duped an item, and you can even go sell it. But the item never existed, and you don't get to keep the gold. And as soon as you log out, everything goes back to the way it should be. It's just a visual thing on the client. The client gets confused. At no point does, like, so we've run tests on it. And the server doesn't even, the server's just like never accepts it. It's never like the server accepts it and corrects it. No, the server just never even realizes you've mistakenly done this to your UI. Because it's just like, that could never happen. So luckily that's the closest we've come to a dupe exploit so far. I'm not ruling it out as possible because, you know, there's very smart people out there, and we'll see what they come up with. But yeah, if a dupe exploit or something like that, and like something needs to happen, yeah, we'll be on it. Any chance that we might get a revive mechanic for multiplayer? We've toyed with this a few times. Like, you may notice that the companions basically have that already. Like, your bear goes down and you walk over and revive it, and good to go. Like, the system's there. It's at least for the time being intentionally not included. Will you guys add a function like PoE at the start of a cycle? It'll say X is the first to enter. Oh, the server announcements. We don't have it for 1.0. Sadly, this is something we've talked about, and they're fantastic. We love them. As soon as we get a good way to get them in, I'll be pushing for them to go in. We do have a server announcement system. I don't think we have a fantastic way of accurately figuring out who is the first across all of the servers to do certain things like that. But yeah, I can't say it's coming for certain. I'm hopeful. There we go. I'm hopeful that it will. I always tell people, don't get your hopes up. I've got mine up for post 1.0. Everything, everywhere, all at once. All right. Will you guys add a function like PoE at this? Oh, I already said that. What level of care would you say there is for buffing set items being overall viable? Oh gosh. We've got a major change for set items coming post 1.0. That in anticipation of said change, I've not made too many dramatic changes to set items in 1.0. There are some changes to some set items to improve some functionality for ones that we had initially planned to be more late game items, I think. But as a general, like, item class, item tier, there's not been a major shift in 1.0. Don't forget to tag me so I see questions. Yeah, don't forget to tag me so you see questions. Yeah. Will we get MTX portal animations on 1.0 instead of green portal when we open portal after completing an echo? Yes. It does that already? Question mark? Didn't mine just do that like 2 seconds ago? We'll look. We'll look at the end of this echo. Oh, I'm already can do it. Yeah, we'll look at the end of this echo. Okay, so this one does that. This is the town portal, though. This is not the. So that's a different portal, actually. But we'll check the other one when we get there. That was a slow drop gloves. Oh, it must have been an enemy. I did that. Don't worry. It's fine. That was insane. Okay, we got through that. Will there be some kind of auction house for trading, or will it be third party like PoE? Please go check out the gigantic post and information about the bazaar. It's the bazaar is what we're calling it. It is an auction house like system. Very powerful searching systems to find the item you want, immediate buyouts, instant delivery, all that good stuff. This is my intermittent character sheet rework reminder. Doing my part to keep the stream alive. I mean, there is technically a little bit of an update for it in 1.0, so there you go. But yes, the proper rework's not forgotten. Hi, hello, how are you? Hope you and the team in EG are doing well. We are. With the Shaman rework at 1.0, will there still have ways to specialize in totems? The, that's what I get for not looking at the screen. The, I'll read the rest of the question here. And is there a way to see totem DPS on hover like other skills planned? Minion DPS is not quite ready yet. In general, it's planned. The Shaman rework is not a complete class rework. I would call it more of a Shaman refresh. One skill's getting completely reworked, one skill's getting replaced. That's about it. And some passives. How often will we drop resonance while playing with friends? I don't have an exact time with that. If you are, the best way I can explain it is, there is a threshold where the percentage of time you're playing together compared to the percentage of time you're playing apart will be such that you'll actually have extra resonances. Where you'll be like, oh, I've got a spare resonance. I'll wait till I find an item to use it with. And you'll actually build up more resonance than you need. Because you'll be playing together so much that most of the items you're finding are tradable anyways. And then there's and the other side of that threshold, you'll be like, oh, I've got this item. I'll find a resonance to be able to trade it at some point. And I don't know where that ratio of time playing together versus time playing apart, that threshold sits yet. I will say that if you are specifically playing with someone with the intention of getting a resonance to trade an item, it's gonna feel like it's real slow. That is a play pattern that is not supported and will not feel good. Sorry. Have you guys considered an extremely rare cosmetic only drops? For example, for each mono boss have its own portal skin, but it's very, very rare, so you just admire how lucky you got. Not specifically. We've definitely talked about ways to get MTX items without purchases, like in-game achievements for MTX items, that sort of stuff. So on the table, we don't have any specifics planned for right now. And we don't have any available 1.0 yet. Love this game a lot. Any changes to monolith progression speed? Yes. Unlocking empowered is faster. The corruption difficulty increases faster, so you don't have to grind as much of it to get the same changes before. And then we're also working on, but haven't got it yet, into a bit more of a subsequent character speed up as well, mechanic thing that I'm intentionally being super vague about. It's not in 1.0. Loving the game so far. Not sure if this has been answered, I'm assuming. But is it the in-game guide getting updated? Yes, the in-game guide is getting updated. What's your favorite / most cool runic invocation? But I force this to happen with these skills. This one? This is why you have to change these colors. Nope. Oh, what is it? Oh, of course that casts it. My favorite is the fire rain. I think is actually my favorite one to play with. But this is my favorite one to look at. It's just great. What's the incentive for starting new characters for each season? Right now, it is a chance for a fresh start. A lot of people find that really interesting just on its own. Fresh economy, so there's like no one is starting with existing gear. Everyone's at the exact same footing. This is probably pretty interesting for new players, especially who maybe haven't played a bunch of the beta. Rune of Research, we will gladly take those. As we get into future cycles down the road, that sort of stuff, there'll be other things as well. Also, just the ability to compete on the ladder. That's a pretty big one for a lot of people. As it currently stands, only one person can gamble gold at the end of a run of Lightless Arbor. If you do it in multiplayer, any plans to allow everyone in the party to be able to gamble gold? There was some technical problem that caused this not to work, but if we can, yes. What guild will be joining on 1.0? The item faction that I'll be starting with on 1.0 will probably be Circle of Fortune, but I am interested to just like get involved with the bazaar a little bit. So just because that's, I'm really not sure how that's gonna go specifically, how the community is gonna react to it, how the community is going to react is the wrong word, how the community is going to engage with it. That I'm really interested in seeing firsthand. So I might go Merchant's Guild just out of from a like academic standpoint. It just sounds weird. Will items automatically return to inventory from Forge when closing the crafting interface? I lost items into the Forge so many times. No, the problem with that is that you can set up your inventory such that you can't have it automatically return there, and then you close it, and you're used to it automatically returning as a thing. So like consistency is more important than that, I think. Unsure though. Super excited about launch. Me too. Question: can you please include up to 3 sounds that players can customize for certain drops? It's off screen so we can look for it. Well, if you have a suggestion for the game, please put it on the suggestion places so we can look at it. I don't write anything down from the stream. This is something that gets suggested fairly regularly. It is way too late to add anything to 1.0. So as far as 1.0 is concerned, no. Beyond that, maybe please put a suggestion on the appropriate suggestion places, forums, Discord. The best places, the dedicated suggestion sections, or just add to another one that's already there, because I know this one's there a few times. A great thief's cache. That's an interesting ring. Not for this character. It's a weird item. It doesn't know what it wants to be. All right. Will there be something like a season's pass in the cycles? We don't have any plans for one. And 1.0 definitely won't have one. It's one of those things that, like, I think it's possible to do something like that in a really cool way. I don't think it would fit with our game very well. So we're not planning on doing it, but I think there's ways to, like, just like outside of Last Epoch, talking about games in general. I think there are ways to do Seasons Pass style mechanics and systems really well. I don't have a good example of it, I'm sure there are good examples of it. I don't know one off the top of my head, but like, I think most of the things that people dislike about Seasons Pass mechanics in general, you know, are fixable. But you know, because of how we're doing like cycles and the content for those cycles, I feel like it's like if you're gonna break down in very broad terms what a seasons pass is and how the cycles are gonna work and all sorts of things, I think you can draw a lot of parallels there. But I don't think formalizing it as a seasons pass would be beneficial for our game. And I don't think having it be especially the content to be interacted with being paid is the big problem. So like that's something we don't want to split people on, is like we don't want you to ever hop into game and say like, all right, I'm gonna go do this challenge for my seasons pass, and your buddy's like, oh, I didn't buy the seasons pass, so I don't get to do that challenge. And it's like that's the key interaction that we don't want to happen, really. So yeah, I feel like having it just be more along the lines of, hey, the patch drop, the new cycle's out, and there's this new boss to go fight in the cycle, you know, and it drops cool new gear. Like that's the same thing really, but instead of it being like a split on the community, it's something that everyone can do together. So we don't look at it like a seasons pass, but I think you could like make an argument for why it's essentially the same thing. All right, more questions. Will there be Spellblade getting a balance pass to be competitive balance mastery for mage? I don't have any details on potential upcoming balance changes for 1.0. We do look at various classes for balancing and ones in there. Hello? Hey! LP Quiet Belt, love it. More questions answered. I feel like this question, Squid 997, I think I answered already. I'm taking a week off at launch. Your dedication's impressive. Have been waiting for this for years. Gonna be a blast. I'm gonna not take a week off work right away, but you know, a couple weeks after launch, I might take a week off. I know my wife would like that. Will we see stack of 4 devs blasting Ellie in a party on release? There's gonna be way more than just 4 of us playing on release, I think. Oh, I've got another one of these. I got something else to share. Another item art. Ooh, I wonder what this one could be. You look at that and you're like, is that a necklace? Is it an idol? Is it a relic? Is it like a catalyst? It's hard to tell. It's a little abstract. What do you guys think it is? What is the feedback you're receiving after announcing item factions? Is the general population learning a certain way from what you have seen? I mean, I think the feedback we received was like overwhelmingly positive. Obviously not everyone. There's lots of people that don't like it. And you know, we're never trying to get a perfect situation for everyone. It was, I think it's going to be a very, very good situation for the vast majority of people, which is like so great. I mean, if I'm right there, that's so good. So yeah, it's The feedback and the reactions from the community have been amazing. That's really nice to see. The feedback and reactions for our post like a year and a half ago now, before this, about what we were planning on doing before, that reaction did not feel good at all. This one's really nice though. Did you plan enough sleep the upcoming sprints? I mean, I'm into like little things here and there mode right now. Bulk of my work's done. It's a boat. It could be anything. You know what you want one of those. And because I set this up beforehand, I can just boom right into the corner. I planned for this, I swear. Let's go right to the boss fight. Wait, what do we have here? Oh, we've got Mark for Death. That's oh good. Do we just go for it? Just accept Mark for Death in this fight. Oh, it's the still push it's the version you can still push it, right? Yeah. Not gonna go well. What's our necro res like? Okay, good. At least that's capped. Physical's basically capped. He doesn't do void, I don't think. Ah, no guts, no glory. Confirm no bug fixes for 2 months because Ichi's staff is blasting. No. Oh, get out of there. No, there's gonna be lots of bug fixes right away. There's always some little things that get found. You go from hundreds of people testing to thousands of people testing. There's new situations that come up every time. Do you guys work using an agile program? No, it ran out early. That was close to being really bad. Do you guys work using agile program? Yeah, we there's not like a specific framework that we're like it's specifically this variant. But yeah, like we have, you know, stand-ups and sprints and all those sorts of things. Kanban boards and all that jazz. Oh, there's something in there that's blocking that dash from happening. We're just gonna walk in and out. Just nice and easy. Nice and easy. You don't need any movement skills. Just gotta react quickly. I'm gonna die to it at some point. Oh, no, no, no. I didn't see it at all. I got complacent. Oh, that's not where I want to be. Boom, boom. All right, 17 all res is gonna be hard to beat. Crit avoidance is nice. What's our crit avoidance like? It's not capped, which is a problem. I think the 17 all res is more important. I feel like pulling them out of that to crit avoidance is probably easier. Oh yeah, let's look. Yes, there's the. This is the green portal. Oh, that might not be a green portal. They were all doing it. I said I would check and I just didn't earlier. Will we ever not be able to move bosses around? It feels wrong. Yes, February 21st. All right. Let's go hit one. I guess we got like 5 minutes left. There's not really much to do. Do you know if there's a fix coming 1.0 or if the team is aware of a bug where if you die, you can't respawn? That happens numerous times to me, and I did report it as well. If you reported it, we're aware of it. It's either on the list to fix, or it's been fixed, or you know, it's somewhere in that pipeline. I don't know where it is in that pipeline. Sorry. Damage kicks, and welcome with your raiding party. No, we don't have much time in the stream left. It's about 5 minutes left, so it won't be too much to see and do, but we'll try and have some fun stuff. This way, let you see that. Probably asked before, but any talks of a title system for completing hard and extremely hard tasks, for example, like old Guild Wars titles back in the day. I know them well. Love those titles. I still not Guild Wars this title, but I still remember getting the Grand Crusader title. It's like wore that for like four expansions past Wrath to the point where no one knows what it's for anymore, and you're like, it's really hard, I swear, guys. Go look up Grand Crusader WoW title. Yes, there is I would say some loose plans for title systems, and I can see there something added. We don't have anything right now. Yeah, I'm caught up. It feels good. It feels weird. What do I usually do with my hands? Is this normal? Yeah, so we're really looking forward to launch. This whole thing's been a little overwhelming for me, personally. But really cool. Is that how we're gonna end stream? Is that what we're gonna do? Oh, that was so dumb. 3 minutes left. Spam some questions. Go for it. I just can't wait to be able to like be able to actually say that we've released a game. I think that's a big part of it for me, on just like a personal level. 10-year-old Mike's really excited about that. How does it feel to have made the best RPG? I really appreciate the confidence and the faith and the praise there. I love being in the conversation for best RPG, and it feels fantastic to be in that conversation. And like on top of that, the people who are also in like that conversation, PoE, at the forefront of that conversation, have been so great. Yeah, just great. It's been awesome. Feels like being welcomed into the locker room, you know. You know, maybe you're playing on separate benches sometimes, but it feels good. This is the last boss for the stream. Oh, come on. Just one more. No! Yes! There we go. Got here. There's the green portal. It used the animation. That was the green portal. That's the one thing I wanted to check before the stream ended. Alright. Couple questions here at the very end. I'll just answer. What are the plans on reworking set items? I can't give you the details. I'm sorry. It's gonna be awesome. Will there be video footage of EHG at go live moment? We don't have an office. We're not all together in the same room, so like we'll be on like a call talking and all that sort of stuff. But like it's not gonna be it's not a big room with all of us gathered or anything like that. Sorry. My only request is a bit of optimization improvements in some maps. Optimization is number 2 on our priority list behind multiplayer awesomeness. You guys talk with GGG, share any insider secrets? No, like I know nothing that would make PoE fans excited. Any information like that, I have nothing. We got to meet some of them at Gamescom, and there's been a few other meets as well, but like Gamescom was the first time I got to meet any of them in person, and it was awesome. That was so much fun. That was really cool. Thank you so much for the stream. Make sure to rest well. I will. Thank you. Congrats on being recognized and mentioned by Grinding Gear Games on PoE for your trade and auction house system. Thanks. Yeah, that was a little wild too. Saw that video. That was very cool. Like, and like that's the sort of thing. Like they've been really great. They've been, yeah, it's been awesome. Anyways, that'll just about do it for me here. Also, you may have noticed at the start of the stream we had cool new graphics. I've got a cool right, be right back. Ooh, new one. And then this is one. We're done. So thanks for stopping by, everyone. I appreciate you all. Yeah, I hope you had a ton of fun. And hope I'll be back. Oh yeah, I'll be back same time, same place next week. If I did not answer your question, and you would like to get it answered, please head on over to our Discord, Ask the Devs channel, answer questions there all the time. Also, we got our forums. We're on other places too, like I pop into Reddit and answer questions there sometimes. There's also lots of great community members at all those places. They're extremely knowledgeable and will be able to answer most of those questions. Be back same time, same place next week. Hope you have a great time. Drink lots of water. I think there's some special events happening over on Aaron's stream, so we're gonna go check that out. I think there's maybe some prizes to win, possibly. Okay, I know there are. See ya.